What happens when political fiction starts to become reality? James Bennett, former action star turned popular California governor who returned to acting, stars in a hit streaming drama about seizing political power. When his former chief of staff suggests turning fiction into reality, the line between entertainment and conspiracy disappears. As a viral marketing campaign creates mass confusion, Bennett faces an impossible choice. When unexpected events in Washington coincide with the show's pivotal episode, is it a brilliant promotion or something more sinister? Acting President, 8 episodes of political intrigue where entertainment becomes a dangerous game. Acting President, wherever you get your podcasts.
Calaroga Shark Media.
Pope Leo delivered a powerful message about finding hope in the darkest moments during his general audience on Wednesday. Speaking to the gathered faithful in St. Peter's Square, the pontiff focused on the parable of the blind beggar Bartimaeus from the Gospel of Mark, offering guidance for Christians who feel lost and without direction. The Pope invited his audience to bring their most painful and fragile parts before the heart of Christ. Those places where they feel stuck and blocked. He emphasized that showing our vulnerability to Jesus represents a fundamental step in any journey of healing. This is white smoke. Pope Leo pointed out that Bartimaeus was in Jericho, which he called the underworld of the Holy Land because it sits below sea level. He drew a parallel between this physical low point and spiritual depths, explaining that Jesus descended to the lowest places to rescue humanity, just as he rescued Adam, who had fallen to the bottom. The name Bartimaeus, meaning son of Timaeus, could also translate as son of honor or admiration. The Pope noted the tragic irony that this man, whose name suggested dignity, found himself in the opposite situation. In Jewish culture, where names carry deep significance, Bartimaeus failed to live up to what he was called to be. Unlike the crowds following Jesus, Bartimaeus remained stationary, sitting by the roadside and needing someone to lift him up and help him resume his journey. Pope Leo asked what people can do when they find themselves in seemingly hopeless situations, pointing to Bartimaeus as a teacher. The beggar knew how to ask for help, and more importantly, he knew how to shout for it. The Pope emphasized that when you truly want something, you do everything possible to reach it, even when others reproach, humiliate, or tell you to give up. If you really desire healing, you keep shouting. Bartimaeus' cry, "Jesus, Son of David, have pity on me," has become a cherished prayer in Eastern Christian tradition. Lord Jesus Christ, Son of God, have pity on me, a sinner. Though physically blind, Bartimaeus saw more clearly than others, recognizing who Jesus truly was. Pope Leo noted that Jesus stopped when he heard the cry, because no cry goes unheard by God, even when we are unaware we are addressing him. Rather than immediately approaching the blind man, Jesus had him called forward. This action reactivated Bartimaeus' life, spurring him to rise again and trusting in his ability to walk. The most meaningful gesture came when Bartimaeus threw away his cloak. For a beggar, the Pope explained, the cloak represents everything: safety, shelter, and protection. Yet often our apparent securities become obstacles that prevent us from walking forward. What we put on to defend ourselves sometimes blocks our progress. To approach Jesus and receive healing, Bartimaeus had to show himself in complete vulnerability. Pope Leo called this the fundamental step in any healing journey. Jesus' question, "What do you want from me?" might seem obvious, but the Pope pointed out that we do not always truly want to be healed. Sometimes we prefer staying still to avoid taking responsibility. Bartimaeus' response proved profound. He used the verb that could mean both to see again and to look up. He wanted more than restored sight. He wanted to regain his dignity. Looking up requires raising our heads, and people often remain stuck because life has humiliated them and they simply want to rediscover their worth. Faith saves Bartimaeus and each of us, Pope Leo declared. Jesus heals to create freedom. Rather than commanding Bartimaeus to follow him, Jesus told him to go and set out on his own way. Yet Mark concludes the story with Bartimaeus choosing freely to follow Jesus, who is the way. The Pope concluded his audience with an appeal for those killed in Gaza's schools during the ongoing conflict between Israel and Hamas. He mentioned the recent tragedy at Fahmy al-Jargawi school, where over 30 people died in Israeli military bombing. Speaking directly to the families, teachers and classmates affected, Pope Leo said, "May the Lord receive these children of his in his peace." This message of hope through vulnerability resonates particularly strongly, coming from a pontiff who understands both suffering and healing, offering a path forward for all who feel trapped in their circumstances. Pope Leo has made his first major foreign policy decision, continuing one of his predecessor's most controversial diplomatic moves. The pontiff nominated Bishop Joseph Lin Yuntuan as auxiliary bishop of Fuzhou, marking his first Chinese bishop appointment under the Vatican's contentious 2018 agreement with Beijing. Chinese authorities recognized the appointment on Wednesday, with the Vatican calling it significant progress in dialogue between the Holy See and Chinese authorities. This decision represents a crucial test for history's first American pope, as the 2018 agreement had drawn sharp criticism from conservatives who felt the Vatican capitulated to Beijing's demands. The conflict stems from decades of division over bishop appointments. China insisted on exclusive rights to name bishops as national sovereignty, while the Vatican maintained only the Pope could name successors to the apostles. This split China's estimated 12 million Catholics between an official state-controlled church that rejected papal authority and an underground church loyal to Rome despite persecution. The 2018 deal aimed to heal this division while regularizing 7 unrecognized bishops. Though details remain secret, it allows the state church input in selecting leaders, while the Pope retains veto power. Critics argued the Vatican sold out underground Catholics, while officials defended it as the best possible arrangement. Tensions emerged over Beijing's apparent violations, including unilateral appointments without papal consent. The issue peaked just before Leo's election, when China proceeded with preliminary bishop elections without Vatican approval. Pope Leo's decision to proceed with Bishop Lin's appointment signals his commitment to maintaining dialogue with Chinese authorities, rather than abandoning the agreement or demanding major changes. This choice demonstrates diplomatic pragmatism over confrontation in one of the Vatican's most challenging relationships. For Chinese Catholics in both official and underground communities, this appointment offers hope for continued healing of decades-old divisions. Pope Leo has clearly chosen continuity in this delicate diplomatic balance between ecclesial principles and political realities.
There's always something brewing behind palace walls, whether it's Prince Harry and Meghan Markle making headlines from afar, or Prince William and Princess Catherine quietly preparing for the future throne. I'm Mark Francis, and on Palace Intrigue, we cover every twist, turn, whisper and wink. From royal drama to daily gossip, follow Palace Intrigue wherever you get your podcasts.
When the world's most powerful people go to war, we can't look away. Welcome to Feuds, Power, Pride, and Payback, the podcast tracking the explosive conflicts shaping our world right now. Presidential administrations fracturing, tech billionaires threatening government leaders, entertainment titans destroying partnerships with single social media posts. These aren't just headlines. They're windows into how power really works. We deliver daily episodes when news explodes, weekly deep dives for perspective. From Washington power struggles to Silicon Valley vendettas, we decode the psychology behind the drama and reveal why these feuds matter far beyond entertainment. Feuds, Power, Pride, and Payback. Today's conflicts are tomorrow's history. Available wherever you get your podcasts.
Want this podcast without commercial interruptions or feed drops? Calaroga Plus is just $5 a month, and you'll get this show ad-free. Plus, we've just added the full first seasons of Eastwood Reloaded and Crown and Controversy, so you can binge listen our new series without a single interruption. Calaroga Plus gives you palace intrigue, 5 good news stories, daily comedy news, 5 daily trivia questions, and all the other shows on the Calaroga Shark Media Network. Totally ad-free. For just $5 a month, it's the best deal going. Apple Podcast users can even get a 30-day free trial by clicking the banner that says uninterrupted listening. If you're on any other app, head to calaroga.com/plus. Link in the show notes. Don't wait. Get your uninterrupted content now. Apple Podcast users click that banner that says uninterrupted listening. If you're on any other app, head to calaroga.com/plus. Link in the show notes.